Lights, camera, action.
In a studio where local filmmakers talk to other filmmakers about the inside world of film.
Cut.
That's not the script. It. We'll fix it in post. Do you wonder how films are produced and what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, stand by. Filmmakers Kevin Munfrey, Victoria V.A. Jones, and Carson Hype Ferguson explain all the details. Right here on It, We Will Fix It in Post podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whenever you're listening, I thank you for doing so. I am Kevin Mumphrey once again, and this is It. We Will Fix It in Post. I am here with my colleagues, Karsten Hype Ferguson and Victoria V.A. Jones.
What's going on?
I am sure by now you've all heard about the recent writer's strike, which is now gone on for about a little over 2 weeks now. It's the largest disruption of content being made in Hollywood since 2008. The strike is an ongoing labor dispute between the Writers Guild of America and labor unions and the Alliance of Motion Picture Television. So the last one lasted about 3 months and a loss of $2 billion in profits. At this point, they're not even going into the negotiating table, and some people have said that they may not be back to the negotiating table to the end of the summer. But also,
it's like 3 months, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And that's just back to negotiate. Not even like, oh, we're going to figure something out in 3 months. That's just, I need a break from your ass.
A lot of reruns. Then we're going to have a lot of reruns.
That's just for that. Now, what are we
Dynamite.
doing? What are we doing for streaming?
What you mean for streaming? You can rerun streaming.
I don't know. I got some new content for.
Yeah, but if you really think about it though, like with Netflix and not Hulu, because Hulu's mostly studio
stuff,
like studio stuff, but like the Netflix and the Amazon Prime, they got their own studios. So like any original stuff, they're gonna get that, and they're still probably gonna get licensing from whatever companies like own the film stuff that they're gonna be doing their thing with.
Now, so far, when he brought up film, the least affected by this strike would be films, because anything that's coming out next year, for the most part, has already been filmed.
Mm-hmm. Right
now, if
they already got the script
done. Now, here's another wrench in that. Ideally, you would be right, but the good.
On the other side.
Oh.
Well. Hey, if it will fix it in post.
So, SAG-AFTRA union has now put in with a ratification for strike, which is basically saying, hey, y'all cool when we go, because their contract ends in June next month. So they will be going to negotiate theirs. And I mean, they've already been out supporting the writers in their strike, and it didn't go well for the writers, and they're expecting it probably not to go well for the actors. So you can have probably by the end of the summer both writers and actors on strike.
Well, I saw something on the internet where one of the writers who was on strike, they were talking about like they weren't getting paid enough money. Like it was like being a writer was kind of like the down on the totem pole for them.
As far as pay structure, yes, you're right. So
it's kind of like working at a regular job.
It is. So I was looking this up. The pay is like $20,000 to $40,000 a year. The pay used to be more because when you was a network, you had residuals. That's already set up for network. But TV viewers are doing less network and more streaming.
Right.
Yeah. So you got all the cable cutters. So that kind of hurts your negotiating power too, right?
Well, they're negotiating with Netflix, Amazon, all these streamers, and what works for them may not necessarily work for networks.
But that doesn't really make sense, because why would you cut the writers' pay when you won't have anything unless you have writers?
Well, they cut. It's like making a cut or whatever to cutting off your arm to save like the whole rest of the body kind of thing. So like they're probably looking down the road, and some of them mugs are greedy. I'm not gonna lie, but they're looking down the road, and it's like with all the cable cutters, you're not gonna have the same money in the regular TV. It's gonna be either streaming or some kind of online service.
Yeah, I get that, but you still need the writer.
I didn't say you didn't. I'm just saying like they're looking at it or whatever, because 100% like 100% of zero ain't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So would you rather take the cut up front and but they got funny money accounting anyway. But if you really really looked at it and you had to like do some kind of like cost benefit analysis kind of thing,
right?
I don't know. If they are telling the truth, like the studio execs, which most people would say they're not, and they're not keeping like right accounting, they're not actually showing you all the books,
right?
But if they were, then you could see the need to kind of control costs. I mean, that's one of the reasons why Disney has to re-release stuff.
Now that's funny you bring it up, because now they have been saying like this is kind of an inopportune time for this to be happening because I mean, one, obviously they're still recovering from the pandemic. We talked about strike actually a few months ago, and that was the theatrical union and a stage union. They almost went on strike, but they figured out something like right at the last hour. So there's that. And then they're saying, especially in Netflix, that they're not bringing in income. Like they're spending more than they're bringing back in.
Who you talking about?
Netflix. Now they're saying this for about all streaming at this point, that it doesn't make money.
Well, it's a loss leader, which is typical in tech. That's a typical strategy in tech and like new media and all that stuff, is to like, just put a bunch of money, you get the investment or whatever, so you can kind of wait out that time. And then once you reach like maturity or
market share.
Once you reach that certain part, now you can actually like benefit. But you got to have the infrastructure in place. You got to have the people. And then like with Netflix, they had stuff like that caused a little bit of bleeding, like the Cuties incident and certain like political stuff going on, whatever, that caused like a bunch of people to like kind of cut their Netflix subscriptions.
And also the rising of prices. But
and Disney pulling all their stuff to put on their streaming service, which almost didn't make any sense for them to do it right away like that, because they were making so much money off licensing to other, platforms.
I think that their kind of thought process was to get people primarily to their platform.
You talking about to Disney's platform?
Yeah. I understand that, but you should slowly wean them off versus like just pulling the plug. And even though they have some things, but they pulled certain like franchises or whatever, I think they pulled too many.
Well, they pulled all their stuff, right?
What, Disney?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of it. A lot of the bulk of it.
Now, pretty much, practically all of it, I think. Now but that's one issue. But another issue is there are certain stuff they wouldn't keep because, like Friends, off of royalties and everything, they were spending, I think they said almost like $1 billion a year. Because
Friends ain't on Netflix no more?
I don't think so.
You sure?
It was Friends or Seinfeld. It was one of them shows.
It's probably Friends, because I remember Friends was on shortly, and a bunch of people were making a big deal.
Yeah, I think Seinfeld's still on.
A bunch of people were making a big deal out about it, but that's because the way they negotiated their thing beforehand, with the actors and all that stuff.
So whereas they would get money every time they would air, they're paying them this money every day. Because someone every day is watching this show.
Yeah.
Binge watching and everything. So you got to pay them practically every day. So they're saying they're not making money, but the writers are saying, okay, if y'all are making money, how come these CEOs of these companies are making hundreds of millions of dollars a year?
Well, I mean, you got to, like, I know what the argument is going to be. It's like, you have to pay, top level talent to like, make the business decisions. It may not seem
ridiculous.
Fair. It may not seem fair, but I mean, Reed Hastings, whatever, was like the former CEO of Netflix or whatever, I guess.
Hastings.
who's like the great grandson of Ben Bernays, the PR guy, which is pretty interesting in itself.
It's just ridiculous.
People.
It's ridiculous that the writers have to go on strike when you need the writers. You will have nothing.
And
you
I have
no content. You won't have shit if you don't have writers.
So
because all these top whatever are not writing this shit because they can't write it.
Yeah, but think of how Netflix disrupted and even changed the industry.
But we ain't just talking about Netflix. Yeah, we're talking about.
But I'm saying specifically though, like the Reed Hastings or whatever is basically like the Steve Jobs of like the whole streaming thing. Because you remember Blockbuster had them on the ropes for a little bit, and even had a chance to even take over, but then they pulled out because of bad decision by a CEO. Because they didn't see the future or whatever.
Right. But at the same time, it's kind of like. You should give the writers what they need and what they.
Yeah, but it's an ecosystem though. It's an ecosystem, and it's like one little thing or whatever could upset the apple cart and tear the whole thing up. Because it could be like just blown completely up, and then Netflix could go to zero, Hulu could go to zero, and then you'll have all this segmentation or whatever, and everybody sell off the assets, and then you have to pay $1 to 5 different platforms.
Now. Yeah, I think if this strike lasts a lot longer, that could probably be a possibility. But right now, when I was looking, producers are perfectly fine with them going on strike right now. In the short term, it doesn't bother them at all because right now they're penny pinching. So they actually currently save money while they're on strike.
How are you saving money when you're not putting out no content?
So they've they kind of knew that this was not going to go well because of and I think one of the finer issues is AI is why they knew this, where the writers are hell bent on, and they're hell bent another way, seems like. So they've made bulk of I think Paramount has bulk content up for the end of the year. I think we talked about this at one point where Revolt has gotten the Breakfast Club on their network. So
you talking about BET?
Yes, BET. Sorry, yes, BET.
Well, it's Revolt/BET
or
whichever.
Yeah. So they have stuff like that, live current content that does not need writers, or they may get.
Yeah, but that's not going to work for a long time. That's not going to work.
I would have said the same thing about reality television.
Judge Judy
back then. There's Judge. Is there any right?
I don't think there's writers for hers.
No,
the courtroom TV stuff.
Yeah,
because she's actually a real judge.
Yeah.
Now some of those other judges, like Steve Harvey, I was like, how the hell are you going to give Steve Harvey? Let me stop.
So
let's
just
say R.I.P. to Jerry Springer. All right. R.I.P. Jerry. You know what I'm saying? We talk about reality TV. We talk about judges.
So you're going to see a lot more reality TV.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
So you're probably going to see a lot more of that. Also, with that, it's a lot of podcasts are going to video.
Right.
So
you
they
go to YouTube for that, though.
Yeah, but it's you take them and, let me just go ahead and put it on my streaming service to get them something to watch. Is anything
I'm trying to tell you that is not going to last long because people want to see entertainment. They want to see
if it lasts.
They want to see television. They want to see movies. They want to escape. Me watching reality TV just reminds me of how crappy the world is.
Yeah, but think of how many people watch reality TV though. The world's still crappy, and it's even crappier when you're watching that crap.
So
I'm sorry.
I mean, this guy's a point. But I think they don't need it to last forever. They just need it to last long enough.
We don't know how long it's going to last.
They just need it to last until the writers break.
Most strikes last until, maybe a quarter of the members. Case in point, like the NFL strike or whatever. When a quarter of the people realize that they can't live without money for a certain amount of time, that's when they start getting real antsy. And they lose negotiating power because that's what they saved up.
And now the writers, they've been they're saving up. There's a fund for people to help out with.
But it's a lot of people who are in the industry who are backing these writers. So it's not like
actors.
And the thing is, they're going to help them until they're gonna help.
But even that get exhausted. Even if you took 100% of like the top 5 actors' money, that's still not enough to sustain the majority of these people. So I'm saying on like at most, I say you probably have enough leverage for about 8 months, and that's being very, very optimistic. Like 3 months.
And like I said, I believe they'll be back in talking in 3 months.
3 to 5 months. 5 months is pushing it,
but
3 months is like you like start getting kind of like.
But it's like, I mean, so like I said, the average writer, they're getting paid less than what they were getting paid 10 years ago. They're getting paid like 20 to 40,000 a year.
Right,
and
that is ridiculous.
Now, and also put into the account that most writers are living in LA and New York.
Not all of them, no.
No, most actors are there because the Writers Guild. Writers. If you're writing a show, pretty much they work because the guild is East Coast, West Coast. So if you're in this guild and you're a writer and you're working TV, you're in LA, you're in New York. Freshly, you're in one of those spots.
Not all of them, though.
If you're in the guild, you're in those spots. Show writers.
But I'm saying not all of them. Not all writers are. Because some of the writers are here in Nashville.
They may live in Nashville, but they're based out of.
Right.
That's how they're.
So the thing is, if you might be based out of there, but you don't live there. So you saying the expenses of there.
So think of it, okay. Because I think you're thinking of like an established writer.
Yeah, but it's still expensive, like going back and forth.
Yeah.
That's an additional expense.
Now, I'm talking like an emerging writer, person who's maybe 1 to 3 years in, who's trying to make a living.
Yeah,
they got to go out there. And the way it works, and the way, because I didn't know how, because I thought writing for TV worked the same way as it did when we were growing up. They have a big old writers' room. All the writers write. They collaborate.
No, right.
Yeah. So.
They just in the room, just like
in the room, throwing ideas out there.
What up, Chuck?
No. I mean, they're talking and
they're writing on the wall.
No, not like they're writing like raps or nothing. But it was a bigger, more collaborative effort. The plan is they're saying that the streaming service wants to turn writing into gig work. The writers' room, they have mini rooms now, so it's like they put more on the showrunner. And basically, you write your show from home, write the episodes from home, and email it to the showrunner. Network said, "Oh, we like it or not. Okay, fix this, rewrite."
Sounds like some money people got involved in the storytelling.
And
it's gonna make it real clunky. It really is.
And
it's actually gonna cost more money doing it like that because it's gonna be more time versus having everybody like in one fell swoop. It was actually probably better back in the day, like the whole writing.
So if it was just network, I don't think it would be on strike because they have pretty much. I think they have a brass tacks of how they do it. All you're doing is just negotiating this point, that point, little minor things. But streaming has completely changed it. And
they want to check on it, but like a streaming service like Netflix ain't gonna give you like they're not gonna open up the records. Because they don't do that with Nielsen, right?
And that's a point of contention. Yeah, they don't. You don't know how many people are watching this show. They're not legally. There's nothing that says they have to, so they don't, because it's a whole new medium. It's not regulated. Whereas network TV has Nielsen rating, all that. Streaming doesn't, and I guess for them, it doesn't benefit them to even show you who's watching.
No, why would it?
So.
I mean, like, hey, all my stuff is preparatory. Like, how do you say that? Preparatory. All the stuff belongs to me, and so, and if I show it to the world and made it like open source, basically, then it's only gonna hurt, and it's gonna give my competitors the same information that I had a leg up on.
I still think they're gonna hurt having this writer strike. Like it's gonna hurt
I
them.
think you're gonna feel it because just like the one on you felt it definitely on the back end. There, if you had a show in development, it's probably not going to go on air. It is either is halted or it doesn't go on air at all. One of the most notable shows back then, Heroes.
Yeah, I didn't watch this show.
Heroes actually got canceled because of that.
It was so bad afterwards.
Yeah,
that it was. And I mean, I used to watch it, and it's like, man, it really sucks now. I didn't realize why until like years later. Certain actors actually. So, it was Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Jesse Pinkman was supposed to be killed off, but after the writer's strike, they ended up keeping him on. So sometimes, for certain actors, it works out. But there's like, if your show is in development or like a pilot, kaput.
But that's a different situation though too, because the guy from Better Call Saul was one of the main writers too, and he's a producer of that show.
Yeah.
So like that's a little bit better continuity. I feel like it's like closer to vest. It's not as many hats. One person wearing many hats versus like the separation of individuals.
Right.
So that's a little bit different situation. I mean, because that show from start to beginning, outside of maybe like a couple outliers or whatever, was pretty compelling.
I mean, it was a good show,
and it ended beautifully.
Yes, it really did.
I mean,
it's one of the, at least for me, I believe, one of the better endings of the show.
How many seasons was that?
Was
it 7, or was it more?
I feel like 7 or 8.
I don't know. I didn't watch the whole thing. But I watched whatever. Anyways,
and it's a stronger point. Well, I'm gonna say stronger, but it is a very strong point of contention. AI. They wanted 3 points. One is for it not to be used, for writer not to use, for them not to use AI to make a film, for them producers not to use AI for rewrites. And that was a third one I can't even remember right now. But basically, they they don't want them to use their work to put into AI. So, because how AI works, if I give it a bunch of your style of writing, it'll write. Yeah. So write a movie about two people falling in love in Jersey in Victoria V.A. Jones style of writing. If I give it enough samples, it will be able to write in your style. So they don't want it to do that as well.
See, it can do that right now. Like if you load the information in there,
if it has enough information, yes.
Yeah, but like all the information on the internet though, like the scripts are on the internet.
I mean, and it can like I've actually tried it myself. It can write you a script.
Yeah, like
it will. Yeah. It sucks right now.
No, but I don't think you'll get a Forrest Gump out of there. You can get a Hallmark movie out of there. No,
man, I don't even know if you can get that out of AI right now.
Like you would not get.
It's decent. You'll get a decent script out of it.
Nah, you won't get a Harry Met Sally. You won't. You won't get that. Like you won't get the drama.
If I give it enough.
Nah, like I like maybe in 15 years with the technology and all this stuff, maybe then. But you don't get the soul of a movie. You don't get a classic like a Turner Classic. You won't get a Turner Classic out of AI. Not right now.
And
so you're thinking, I mean, I don't agree with AI anyways, but you're thinking even if you give it like those scripts,
they got the script right now.
But I'm saying even if you give them that example of those scripts, if you say write me this type of movie and you give those examples,
100 examples,
that is a copy. That is a copy of a copy.
That's what AI is, though.
No, not necessarily, because AI learns, and one thing that it can't learn is to be completely original. It's gonna have to source from somewhere else. Because the day where it can be completely original, Skynet's on, baby.
I guarantee you'll get to that point.
If you're right, you want to nip that in the butt now, because it's like I'm not waiting 15 years for these producers to go, oh, wait, I don't even need you writers.
Right.
I'm barely paying y'all now. I'll just give me an AI, make one bulk purchase on some sort of AI software. Say, we're going to make these kind of movies. these kind of movies,
It's not gonna work.
I
Not
mean,
gonna work.
10 years, I think AI
And-
could make a
and-
Fast and Furious.
That's a different kind of movie.
I
That's
think
a much different kind of movie. Like a Forrest Gump is not the same thing as a Fast and Furious. Not
Fast and Furious sells though, and producers trying to make money.
Does it?
Studios,
No. Does it sell? Because I don't think the numbers are as good as the first 3 movies.
They keep
It's
making them.
it's
They
number
keep-
one worldwide right now.
They keep making a lot of movies, and the Marvel franchise, for example, ain't doing as well as like the earlier Marvel franchise movies. It's because they don't have the same core that they did at one point in time, and so
Maybe they,
if
you know,
don't
they
have the
got to go
same
back
core-
and revamp. You know,
but if you don't have the same core or whatever that made it special or made it like, you know, that tapped into that nostalgia while presenting it in a certain way, then your core audience is going to leave. You know, like it's one of those weird tiptoe things that artists / people that understand the money side of the house have to get right. You do want to make something for, like, you know, mass consumption, but you do want to make something that's going to actually matter. Like E.T., for example, Jaws, like these were blockbusters, the original blockbusters, right?
Yeah,
But they actually mattered. Now, I think you get less and less of that as people like are chasing the dollar, because like they go away from the art form for one versus the other. You can have both, but typically one person settles for one versus the other. But there's very few people that could actually master it, and I don't think AI is going to get there within the next 5 years.
I think if more producers had that thinking, this wouldn't be as contentious of a negotiation.
No, hell no, it wouldn't be, because you know what? They would know the exact ROI of everybody involved in the process, and that's kind of part of the setting expectations too, because the money guys or whatever, like, partly messed up the industry a while ago anyway, like a long time ago, when a lot of the studios almost went bankrupt, like when they gave like the directors, like, you know, the keys to the car and just like set them loose without any oversight.
So this is what I think they're thinking as far as AI. I can get AI to, if we invest enough into AI to where it makes bankable movies. Now, there's there's great movies and there's bankable. I'm using the term bankable purposely, because if it makes me a profit, that's all I needed to do. I needed to make me a profitable movie. I don't have to pay royalties. I don't have to pay residuals. I don't have to pay writers. All I got to do is type in this. It gives me that, give that to a director, tell them to get them some casting directors, go ahead, give me some actors, make this movie, and I can make double off my investment.
I think you will get more Blood Rains than you will Jurassic Parks if you did it that way. And Bloody Rain was not a it was not a good movie in any sense, right?
But you still have to. I'm not going on what you're saying. I'm going back to what Kevin said. You still have to pay the actors. You still have to pay the people on set. You still have to pay all this other stuff. I mean, you're still gonna be spending money.
You still, and I could and I'm just thinking of just like a money hungry producer.
The big thing is you're cutting out the down the
There's
string.
certain costs
so
that you're cutting.
The upfront costs. Like one of the reasons why Disney re-releases movies is to cut royalties. So like you're cutting royalties. So like Jason Weaver, that's the voice of
Simba.
Yeah, Simba was getting royalties every single time.
Right.
You know, for, you know, lifetime. So like, guess what? We take these, we put them in the vault. Now we recreate the same movie, but we're not using the same actor. Now I ain't got to pay him.
Still got to pay him though.
No, you don't have to.
I'm saying that off of that movie. I'm saying off of the original.
No,
I'm negotiating,
but not the
I'm
remakes.
paying on the remake. I'm only paying the front end.
Yes, all you're paying is the one time fee.
You're gonna watch The Lion King. I don't need to get some bankable actor.
I didn't like The Lion King, the live action one.
I never saw it.
I said the live action one.
I never saw it, but there will be an audience that will go see it just to see how it looks like again. Let's see what they do, and that's what they're banking on.
I think that's rare though. Because I don't think they have enough cachet now because people are so used to watching stuff at their house. And like they kind of screwed over the movie theaters for a long time.
But
now.
people are still going to theaters. Like they're still selling out at theaters though.
And not as much as they were before the pandemic. The numbers are still down. They did rebound a little bit, but it's not even close. I mean, same things happen in sporting events. People are like opting to watch on their HD TVs because they didn't spend so much money for their experience. They got their little home theater.
I ain't doing it because I don't like people. So
that's another thing too. Hey, guess what? I ain't got to worry about traffic. Hey, if the game's terrible or the movie's not really good, I turn it to something else, or like go do something else.
No, for releases of movies, you still got to pay a little small fee, even if you see it at the house.
Yeah, so, but it's a much better experience because you think the reason why the movie theater spend so much at the movie theater is because they're not making any money off the movie. They're not. The studio is, but the actual theater is not. The theater might make like if the ticket's $9 or whatever, they may make like $1, maybe $1 and some change.
Dude, how much?
He said $9. He said $9.
No, I'm saying if it's $9, they might make. That's just an example. It's like, but it's like what $6-7 now.
You talking about a ticket?
Yeah.
To go see a movie?
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm out of touch.
I mean, you can probably get that if you go to like a mom and pop theater.
At the $5 movie, probably. They got $5.
I don't even know if that's still a thing.
Anytime I go to the movie, I always go to the matinee.
And how much?
Do they still have matinees?
For real? How much is it though? I don't know.
$6-7, something like that. Depends. Man, but it's early. It's early though.
So
you gotta go early.
Like
matinee's like before like 4 o'clock. Like, you gotta be like, hey, you gotta get in here before 2:30. Come on.
I'm like, when is? So I wanted to kind of give y'all some of the shows that are impacted by this current strike. One of them was
one of them lost? No, I'm playing. Go ahead.
Oh my god.
I believe this is a show Victoria likes, Abbott Elementary.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They had, because they recently wrapped their they was supposed to go back into the writer's room on May 3rd, but the writer's strike started May 1st. So that's one show that's out. That's they're on hold. Stranger Things. I don't know if you're a fan of that show. I haven't watched it in.
It's a decent show.
So that show is supposed to be coming up on its, I believe, 5th season. They're on hiatus. So that show is on hold. Something more notable, Saturday Night Live. Now, because they have to write stuff that is current, they obviously, and I think they were supposed to have a show with the show that was supposed to come out, the one with Pete Davidson. That got halted. So they're pretty much done for the season. They're done until they figure out something. All late night talk shows are affected. They're the very first ones that are affected by it because they're live. They're the most current. I mean, writers are writing up until the start of the show. So they're affected. They're the first and the most affected. Unless the talk show host, I believe Jon Stewart, was paying his writers to keep going. But I don't think any of them are doing it at this point in time. Billions is also on hold. You said lost, but I guess The Last of Us is kind of on that realm. I haven't watched the show. I hear it's popular, but HBO show that's also halted. Loot, this is on Apple TV. Supposed to be a comedy. They were supposed to start on May 5th. They're also halted. Wonder Man, which I don't even know what that is. Now, with something, this may be the first film that is halted by it, and it's obviously a Marvel film. Daredevil Born Again. They're halted because I guess there was there was a week. Yeah. There was a week in writing, so that got halted, and right now they don't know. That's the only film I've seen that is halted. Also, a show that I like, Power Book Ghost. It's a great show on Starz. You should check it out. Well, you can't watch it because they got shut down by protesters. So there's that and writing. So they're halted. Now, also, it didn't show it on my list, but something else that soap operas. They're usually the second on the line of television that's affected by this because now they write up to maybe 2 months ahead, but they also they have to be, I would say, current, but they write. I know the soap opera, I believe I watched it like a month and a half. They keep a month and a half ahead, maybe 2 months. I think some writes like 3 months because they're writing like a whole storyline. So they use that to keep things going. But I believe I watched General Hospital. I believe they run out of episodes the end of June.
All right, so I'm just saying, like, you.
Yes, I watched General Hospital. I've been watching that since I was a teenager. Absolutely.
But going back to Abbott Elementary, like that's the writer is the star of the show.
Yep, she's in the Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild, and that is there are certain, like Tom Hanks, for instance, he's in all the guilds. He's in the Directors Guild. I believe the only one he is not is in the Producers Guild. That or he may be in it, but I know he's in Actors Guild, Writers Guild, and Actors Guild. So he's in all like the main in all these unions.
Right.
So whatever he's working on, he's just done. And there's certain, I believe even Tyler Perry is somewhat in that position as well.
Yeah, Tyler Perry can do his own thing though. Still.
So you're saying
I think he's in the Actors Guild because he still acts,
but he writes his stuff too. Now I'm not saying it's sure.
But Tyler Perry, ain't he the same one that like wouldn't get help on his films? And like several people were complaining about.
Usually he writes all of his stuff.
No, yeah. So I believe if his stuff is on network. Now I don't know this for sure, but I believe like he's in that guild. Now, just like certain really major actors don't necessarily, they don't like rules of the guild. They kind of bend those rules again.
So the people who do not know. So you're saying even though this strike is happening, the people who are part of the guild, they have to strike too.
Yes. The term is pencils down. They cannot write anything. They cannot talk to another guild member about a project idea.
Even with their own stuff.
Mm-mm. Maybe like a passion project, maybe, but it's ideally no. We're not discussing anything we're writing.
That's interesting.
It's when they say pencils down, there's pencils down. And
this had been back in the day, like them cats, they didn't play that. They'll be doing something to you if you went across that picket line.
What?
Huh?
Like I'm talking about like all the union or whatever, like especially the labor unions anyway. In the labor unions, they were shooting at people that went across the picket line.
You talking about the people who went to work?
Yeah. If you cross that picket line because you heard our position. Like in Kentucky, and
talking about the mafia.
Well, I mean, like in Cleveland, like a lot of the unions had like mafia ties.
Yeah, back in that, yeah, they had all the unions back then.
Yeah, like most of the unions.
But that's the thing that some people don't understand. Like, being part of the guild, even though if you're good, you still you are part of that too.
Hollywood probably has, and there's not a lot of unions currently in America, but I think Hollywood unions are some of the, if not the strongest, definitely one of the strongest. And there's one more thing I wanted to kind of get out there, because I'm pretty sure somebody may see the situation that, well, maybe like an indie writer, why don't they just hire them to write some stuff and then just get somebody else for cheap, and somebody who may be looking for an opportunity who's not in the union may try to sneak in.
Right.
So I looked into that. So there's a term they call scabs.
Yeah.
And someone explained it to me like this. So you don't get into a fight when a husband and wife is are arguing with each other. You don't get into it.
Hell yeah, you leave that stuff.
Because once they make up,
they coming after you.
You're at fault. And that's how this works. So there's one thing that everybody's in this seems to all unions, like writer unions across the globe, seem to agree on. If you're not in the union and you try to sneak your way in the union, once we get this fixed up, you can't get these major networks only deal with people in the union. So they're throwing you out as soon as this is fixed up. And they're not letting you in. The unions ain't letting you in because you're considered a scab. And the networks ain't fit to hire you because they only work with the union.
Well, you got to think too. Like, case in point, whenever the NFL had their strike way back in the day, and they had the scabs, the players weren't as good. So, like the writers may not be as good. Although there's some disagreement with that, but the writers may be like those athletes where they weren't as good. Where only like maybe 3 players stuck around. They were scabs.
So here's what I would say to that. With NFL, that is a lot more tangible. You can see, okay, he can't, once we put the real players on, he can't run with them, he can't pass with them, he can't catch with them.
Yeah, but it's the same thing with the writers.
But writing is
like a great writer. Like you could tell the difference between a great writer and an okay writer. There's a
great writer
difference.
Is also a bit of subjectivity to it.
Yeah,
they may be great, but they may not.
But okay, so somebody writing Fight Club, the treatment for Fight Club, or the book for Fight Club is a whole lot different than writing like some whatever obscure storyline. It's not the same thing. Like what's that movie? Like I Am 13, for example.
I Am 13.
I Am 13.
Yeah, it's the.
I definitely ain't seen this.
It's like an alien thing or whatever.
I'm thinking about you talking about 13 going on 30 or something.
The boy was like put on Earth or whatever, and all this stuff. It's like one of those teen coming to age kind of things, whatever. Where it's like he got superpowers. He finds out he's from an alien race that's like humanoid, whatever. And anyway, that's not as good as some of these other movies. And like I feel like it's like that. To where they tried to make like one of those like kind of mid-level kind of deals and make like a mid-level blockbuster versus Independence Day.
Here's the thing. Someone made
better writing, better actors, better investment up front with everybody involved in the project versus this.
I see what you're saying. But someone may identify with this film more so than they identify with that film. Now, I think the person who's the top tier, who's in the guild, who's been writing for years, if they write 100 films and the scab per se write 100 films, this one's going to have more stuff that more people may gravitate to. But just one to one,
is the scab equivalent? The scab can be, and it's like it's more akin to golf. Like a great golfer can have a bad day. And a bad golfer can have a good day, and they can get kind of close, but they're still going to be on a different level versus like an NFL player, a professional NFL player that's like an A-level athlete versus, XFL player. It's night and day difference.
Also, I got there some of the things that some of the negotiations and some of their counters. I got like a list of this, so I'll let you know some of them. So one of them is streaming features. So like if it's a feature film, there's a certain pay scale if it's a feature film, whereas a different pay scale if it's not a feature or a different type of content.
Right.
So they're trying to kind of make a guideline on what is considered a feature on streaming. So a streaming feature with a budget of 12 million or more receive full theatrical terms, including better initial composition and residuals. Their counteroffer was made programs that are 96 minutes plus with a budget of 40 million more receive 9% increase to initial computation, no improvement on residuals. Weekly pay, 50% paid upon commencement and remaining 50 be paid weekly over the writing period. Applies if writers are paid less than 250% of minimum. Writers above this threshold have the right to opt in to weekly pay. They rejected the proposal, made no counteroffer. So I didn't realize this until I was looking into this. I wanted to bring this up. If you notice, like when we watch like network television, the seasons of their shows were like 18 to 22 episodes.
Most of them.
They were pretty
Sometimes they're
long.
not.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, with network, a writer could make a living off of that because you're getting paid weekly. You got more episodes. You're making more money.
Right.
And then after that show, especially if you were good at saving money, you got money to kind of keep you afloat while you're finding your next gig. And if you've gotten like a pretty good name for yourself, it's not taking you that long to find your next gig. But
Right.
if you're new, may take you longer, but you've got enough money to stay afloat. Look at streaming services. I didn't even think about this until I started looking at it. The seasons are like 8 to 10 episodes now.
But they're longer episodes.
They're longer episodes, and you know, you don't have commercials in them, so they put more money into it. There's more writing being put into it because you don't have commercials, so you got to write for that. So you're writing instead of like what 22 minutes, I believe, for a network show.
Yeah, but they got a different metric though. Their metric is not episode; it's watch hour. So like, they want so many watch hours. That's how they part of the measurement or whatever of attention to see if they're going to put more money in that show. And they got a lot of churn too.
Now, and I mean, they do invest more money. I know Netflix, they throw money at their episodes. It's just they don't throw it to the writers. But the episodes are shorter. They ask for more from their writers. You know, so they don't pay for rewrites.
Yeah, but it's probably like more gig work kind of.
That's the problem. That's what they're upset about.
Well, I mean, and unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what school of thought you come from, whatever, what's going to happen is they're going to replace some of this stuff with just like people that have ready-made projects.
Now, elaborate. What do you mean by ready-made?
Like the independents, they just go and do a licensing agreement with the independents.
You talking about far as like movies though, not like more so television.
I mean, like even streaming shows.
I'm not talking about like major movies. I'm just talking about like television shows.
Even streaming shows, like Always Sunny in Philadelphia started as a YouTube thing. Like they'll find more of those.
So kind of like a So the example I'm thinking of when you're saying this is Issa Rae's Insecure.
Yeah, probably.
But even that, they like recast it. And
yeah, but most of this stuff is recast.
They're reshot, rewritten.
Because the quality wasn't there, but the general core of it was there. So and
the basics was there.
And I mean, same thing like with musical artists or whatever, right? So like this music artist has been out for 70 years, but the first time the world hears them is on their first studio album, right? Like that's why almost everybody's first album is so good, because they put everything into it. They've been working on this for 7 years, and a lot of the songs have been re-releases. Hell, The Weeknd's first like studio album, I gotta make sure I do that or whatever, was just damn Echoes of Silence, which had been out for like 2 years beforehand. People are like, oh, this is pretty good. I'm like, man, I heard that 3 years ago, man. What's up?
Just now, true now, but it's still with television. You're still going to do some sort of writing towards it.
Yeah, but it's still cheaper though, because you have like a basis already. You already have a basis, so it's cheaper to write that or rewrite that than it is to write something completely from scratch or to commission something.
Maybe, but I think that's, and you may be right, but and it's probably where they're going for. And anybody who's trying to save money will probably do something like that. But the writers are trying to fight off of that because they want TV writing to be career work, not gig work. And a lot of Hollywood is already.
I mean, good luck. That's not the way the industry is going to be supported in the future. Like if you're going more streaming, the streaming services aren't gonna. That's not advantageous for them. They're gonna look out for numero uno, and they don't care about a career. And it's not me trying to be callous or anything like that. It's just like, you know, the brass tacks of it. They're gonna do everything in their power, like not to pay a license. They don't want to open up the books in a certain way. They don't want to give out metrics. So there's no way for you, unless they share their proprietary information. That's the only way you can get the numbers to be able to hold them accountable. And they're not gonna loosen that stranglehold what they have right now.
So wrap this up. Make sure this. How long do you think this strike may last?
At the longest, 6 months.
You think 6 months?
At the longest.
Tori, how long are you thinking?
I hope it lasts a year, but I know it's not gonna last the year. So I'm gonna give it like I'll give it 6 months, maybe 8. I'll put 2 more months on it.
So because of the positioning that you made Karsten, about how they're kind of looking out for numeral, and the streaming services seems to be the bigger issue here. I feel like this is going to last longer. Now, if the actors end up going on strike, and the Directors Guild, they have to negotiate as well. And if they end up going on strike, I don't think it would last a year. I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
The quote unquote movie star outside of like, top tier A-list Hollywood actors from our generation and up is pretty much dead. So like people aren't going to see like the movie star as much. So moving forward or whatever, you may see a resurgence of the old style, like in the 40s, 50s, to where these studios start getting actors and you'll see the same actor in all their movies.
I see that. So
they basically like contract this person out or whatever, pay them a flat fee, and they act in like 5 or 6 movies a year.
Possible. I feel like the guild would have something against.
Yeah, but it's going to be completely outside of the guild. It'd be like an Amazon Studios actor. And Amazon's a company that doesn't care about upsetting the apple cart.
I think they would have done that by now if they could have.
No, I don't think it was cost effective. Just like the McDonald's in Dallas or whatever is fully automated. It's only cost effective at a certain point. Once you reach point X, that's when it's like, all right, now we can make the investment.
So, and what you're saying,
the union stopped that.
Are unions still on strike when that happens, or do you think this is something that happens?
Like you may see something like that in the future, because like history doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does like to rhyme. That's not mine, by the way. I stole that from somebody.
Of course.
I'm happy.
I got some good ones, but that's not mine.
So I've had a thought process like if this lasted a year, if and this would be worst case scenario, writers, actors, and directors all are striking. One, I tend to think it would be
a lot of reruns.
It's gonna be a lot of reruns, but it's also gonna be a lot. Because think, how many people watch more YouTube now?
I watch YouTube all the time.
Yeah,
I watch more YouTube than I do television.
Mm-hmm. I probably watch.
Yeah,
it's about. Yeah, I probably watch. It's probably about Nick and Nick for me. Mm-hmm. Then I realized, like, I was talking to my niece who's like 13. Her and her friend, they watch. The TV in her room is basically a decoration. They watch YouTube. Her friends have watched YouTube.
I watch YouTube on my TV. I got YouTube shows that I watch on my TV.
So I feel like it could possibly be, and this may not even take a year. This could be honestly in a few months. Just a boost to YouTube, and I don't think they're under any union laws or nothing like that, which could be something they may.
Well, we don't know of though. We don't know. We really don't.
Like YouTube ain't got no union.
So, I mean, they're not.
Outside of like the Jimmy Kimmels and the network television or whatever, there's no like big box.
Now they do
YouTube.
Like original content through unions, but I don't think they have an agreement with the union that.
And then the genie's out of the bottle now. You can't put it back in. So like King Bach, for example, and all these in RDC and these cats that do skits, like those are the first two to come to mind right now. The Jake Pauls, all this stuff, they have like a string of consciousness for like some of these younger kids and stuff like that. So like people are going to already go to that versus anything else, or the talk shows, which are like the the talking head types that are on YouTube.
I
live
can see
shows.
like more watching of that, and this is way more. This is not something I really think would happen, but could be possible. And I think you watched Dollywood.
Dollywood.
Yeah, not Bollywood. I'm sorry, Dolly Parton. Sorry, Bollywood.
Those are like some of those are good. Some of those epics.
Now,
some of those are actually really good.
I mean, if it lasts long enough, could it be possible that people start or that Bollywood starts like trying to? And I don't know if they're under anything unionized itself, but I'm just going under the guise of it not being in a form of any union or anything. Well, I mean, they may try to take advantage of it.
Why not?
And gain,
I mean, like
American audience.
Like, look at the South Korean.
I mean, but
Squid Games, the South Korean joint.
Right, but you still had Bollywood because this past Oscars, Bollywood won a couple of Oscars. So it's something now that's this.
And there was a time where they could kind of because I think people in America now are, and I think Netflix is can be attributed as that people are more open to looking at content outside of America.
So that's been away for a while now, though. That's been away for a while.
I felt like Netflix has probably been attributed to creating
not just Netflix, but like IFC on the movie channel, or whatever, the International Film Channel, or whatever. That was a big thing, and that was like what HBO or Showtime, one of the two, and that was a big thing for a while. It was just like wasn't really talked about that much. But like you had that, you have like manga, anime. There's several sectors where they've been growing market share slowly and steadily. I mean, like Netflix is making a huge investment in anime.
Well,
I mean,
really, I didn't. Honestly, now think about it, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they're making original content off anime.
Yeah. I mean, like that Castlevania was pretty good. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't.
It's got like 3 or 4 seasons or whatever. I mean, extremely compelling storytelling. It's some pretty good writing on that. High level movie type stuff, and you can do a lot of stuff, special effects wise with animation that actually may be cheaper than going like the Marvel route in the real world practical kind of sense.
And on that note, we're going to wrap things up here because I'm hungry. Now,
didn't you just eat?
Yeah, not much. But look, that's not important here. I thank you all for listening. So, Victoria, any final thoughts?
No final thought. No, none.
So, Carson,
because Carson done ruined everything for me.
I ruined everything. What are you talking about? Carson ruins everything.
There's your final thought. Well,
it's your man's fault.
What?
So,
nah, sorry. That's some internet for you. That's some deep internet.
Well, I would just like to say, hopefully, this is something that could be worked out, and
it ain't gonna be worked out.
So we just crushing dreams, huh?
A lot of them.
But
if you're my dreams,
if you're wondering why your favorite programming isn't coming out when you thought it was coming out,
because they need to pay the writers more. That's why.
Final thought: pay the writers. And I am once again Kevin Mumphrey with my colleagues Victoria V.A. Jones.
What's going on?
And Karsten Hyde Ferguson.
Sure.
And that is a wrap.